Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Magic Devo. I was wondering, have you ever noticed that there's a lot of choices in this world? That means sometimes we have to make decisions. Sometimes those decisions can be easy and fun. Sometimes they can be tough, like this one. Hey, what is your favorite holiday? Is it President's Day or is it Christmas? Tough decision, isn't it? I know. Maybe you're a summer type person and you like the 4th of July. Or like me, maybe you like everything in between Halloween and New Year's. If that's the case, maybe you don't want to make a choice about what is your favorite. And that's okay because sometimes you don't have to choose. But then there's other times when you really have to make a decision. We'll say that you have to choose which choice you're going to make, whatever that means. Like right now, I've got to choose a magic trick that I'm going to be showing for you guys today on our Magic Devo. Well, let's see. I could do a rope trick with a ring, crayons, uh, silk, or card trick. Oh, decisions, decisions. This is going to be tough. Give me a moment and I'll figure this out. I got it. We're going to do a card trick. Now, I know it's going to be tough because you're there and I'm here, and that's why I'm going to introduce you to a new concept in magic for you, and that is mentalism. What's mentalism, you might ask? Well, mentalism is when you read a mind, make a prediction. But I got it. Here's a good way of thinking about it. Do you have a friend or family member that you really bond with? You can almost finish what they're going to say before they say it. I've got a friend that way. Here, check it out. Maybe it looks something like this. Hey, Colin.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, I was just wondering, when we get through shooting the video, I'm kind of hungry. Would you like to get something to eat?
That's amazing. I had that same thought.
You did? Well, what did you have in mind?
Wait a minute. What did you have in mind?
I was thinking
Pizza!
Hey guys, that pizza was great. I decided after that to come over to my buddy's house. DJ, you've been here, I think. Well, I want you to look around for a second. Can you tell what his favorite holiday is? Yeah, Christmas. I love it too. I wanted to come here just to see all of his really cool decorations. And this is where we're going to do the card trick. Back to the example I showed you of mentalism. Well, that's what mentalism looks like, but it's different. You see, that's a bond that you develop with a friend. More on that in just a moment. Magic, though, or mentalism, is when a magician attempts to dazzle you with entertaining bits of mind reading or predictions, or solemnly like a Jedi Knight. You know the move. He influences what you think. And that's what we're going to do with this card trick. Now, most card tricks need a helper, and no one's here. So I thought I would choose you. You get to participate in this card trick right there where you are, at home, in the car. So what I want you to do, it's easy, is choose one person, if you're with a group, to participate. Now, it's important that you follow along and play along with everything that I do. And pay very close attention to the instructions. Because if you don't, what we're going to do over the next few minutes will be absolutely meaningless. So if you've got someone, here's what you do. You're going to point your finger and you're going to walk up here and you're going to touch the screen. I want you to touch the deck of cards right there. Now, wait a minute. Now, if you've got a smart screen, we need to cover this. If there's a smart screen, maybe you should just point at the screen because if you touch it, it may make it skip or something. Well, if that's the case, you'll find out right now. And then you just want to point. So let's practice again. Reach up here, either touch or point at the deck of cards. Cool. But that's not the trick. You can put your hand down now. All right, so follow the instructions very carefully. And I tell you what, the best way to do this is with my cards over here. I'm going to need my coat because I'm going to go outside and show you this setup I've got. Let me grab my coat. Here's the cards right here. Now you're going to point and you're going to choose a card. But I don't want you to worry about what the card is. First of all, just look at this. I've got it set up to look like a clock, and that's all that's important. You're going to touch the screen. Now, we're going to start with our finger right here, and we're going to count clockwise around. So you're going to need a secret number. Let's take these hands down real fast. You're going to need a secret number between 5 and 15. Now, don't do anything yet. Let me explain to you and give you an example of what we're going to do. You're going to start right here where it says start by pointing right there or touching the screen. And we're going to count our secret number around clockwise on the clock. Now, again, here's the example. Suppose you choose 11. Now, don't count the spot you're on. Count the number of moves that you make. 11. Here's the example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that puts you right there on the 8 of hearts. Let's suppose your number was 7. Start right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That puts you on the 4 of spades. Again, the value of the card doesn't matter. All that we need to be concerned about is the number, the secret number that you choose between 5 and 15. You've got the idea. So, choose someone to help, and let's get ready to start. Make sure you have a number between 5 and 15. Now, as you count, I want you to continue till you get to your number, and then leave your finger there. Do not lose your spot. Are you ready? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on until you get to your secret number. Good. Now, I want you to leave your finger right there. You're going to use that same secret number, and we're going to count backwards, counterclockwise. If you were on the Queen of Hearts, it would look this, you would go this way this time. 1, 2, 3. That's just an example. So, are you ready? Your secret number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on until you get to your secret number. Good. Now leave your finger there. Don't move. Now I'm looking around and I'm beginning to figure out where you are. I can tell you're not on the 5 of hearts. That's unfortunate because that's my favorite card. You're not on the 10 of hearts. So I'll take that away. Why, you're not even on the 3 of diamonds, so I'll take that away. You're not on the 7 of diamonds, so we'll take that one away. Okay, now you're going to do one more move. This time, you're going to choose whether you go clockwise or counterclockwise. Now remember, don't count the spot you're on, only count the number of moves you make. And you're going to move 4 times. Your choice, either clockwise or counterclockwise. Are you ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now leave your finger there. Now believe it or not, you're at home and I'm right here, but I know exactly where you are. You're not on the Queen of Hearts. You're not on the Jack of Clubs. You're not on the 9 of Spades. You're not on the 8 of Hearts. You're not on the 6 of Spades. You're not on the 4 of Spades. And you're not on the Ace of Spades. You're on the 2 of Hearts. Pretty cool, wasn't it? You know, there's a verse from Philippians chapter 4. When I read it, I can't help but to think about that kind of mentalism effect. I want to share it with you. It's Ephesians 4, verse 8. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. So it's saying, think about things that are good, true, pure. That sounds easy enough, doesn't it? But what does it have to do with mentalism? Good question. I'm glad you asked. You see, a magician uses mentalism to control your thoughts. I want you to think about something. You ever seen a magician and you thought, hey, I wonder how he did that? It's common. They do it all the time to me, and it's like they kind of doubt that it's real magic. Well, I want to point something out to you. You know, the movies use grand special effects to create a whole imaginary world to entertain you. Well, in a very similar way, magicians, we use special effects. It could be sleight of hand or it could be mentalism. And all we want to do is create a magical experience for you to entertain you. Well, I don't know if you know this, but when you ask a magician, hey, how did you do that? It's almost like you're saying, hey, you can't fool me. I know this is just a trick. Well, here's something for you to think about. Did you know that happens to you every day in the world? And yet, we never, ever question it. So let me explain to you what I'm talking about. You know, the example a while ago with my friend Colin, you know, the reason we were able to read each other's minds is because we think a lot alike. We're around each other all the time. And when you think alike, you begin to make similar choices. Well, the world does the same thing in different ways. Let me give you an example of that. How about salesmen and advertisements? That's their job. They're going to try to convince you to buy their product. And how do they do it? They make you think about their product over and over. And when you go shopping, that's the one you buy. Now, the only reason that would be bad is if some salesman, pushy guy, really convinces you to spend thousands of dollars you don't have of your mom and dad's money for things you really don't need or things that don't work. Everything influences how you think. Music you listen to, things you watch, games you play, TV, movies, and especially your friends. But I want to make you aware of something. Sometimes the world has a way of slipping its arm around you and saying, hey, buddy, and leading you right down the road. Wrong road, I should say. You see, they might try to tell you things that aren't true and convince you that they are true. Now, maybe they don't know it themselves, but some people try to tell you things that aren't true to convince you of it. So, I want to teach you what you can do. Use this verse as a filter. Let me give you a couple of examples to help you with, okay? Do you have any friends that maybe complain a lot? Well, remember the example I told you. You begin to think like your friends. Well, if you hang around someone who complains a lot, you might begin to complain a lot too. Perhaps they're the type of person that nothing's right. It's too hot outside. It's too cold outside. The teacher's mean. I don't like the teacher. You get the idea. You hang around someone like that, while they say things that might be true, they complain a lot, and you might find yourself complaining too. Let's filter that through this verse. Think about good things. Suppose you have another friend, and they feel the same way, but they don't complain. What if instead, because they want to think about good things, positive things, they try to look at things that they like about the teacher? They might be the person that says, oh, it sure is hot today. Hey, it would be a good day to go swimming. Or it sure is cold today. Maybe we can get some hot chocolate, sit by the fire, and play the game. Do you get what I'm talking about? If you hang around someone like that, then you're going to think more like them and make choices like that. like that. Another example, do you know anyone that likes to laugh at inappropriate things? Let's say maybe they like to use language they shouldn't and they think it's funny. Or maybe they laugh at people that they shouldn't laugh at. They make fun of them. Or perhaps they tell dirty jokes and they laugh about it. Now, I get it. Sometimes things happen and you laugh, but they do it all the time. Yep, you guessed it right. If you hang around a person like that, you might begin to think the same way and find those same things that are funny. And then we know that that's not really what we should do. See, if you filter it through this verse, you know that, hey, I shouldn't think about that stuff. I should think about things that are good and true and pure. And there are things out there that you can find funny that are good. So I think you get the idea, right? You got to kind of filter things through this verse and think about things that are good because it helps you make good decisions. And that means you need to be careful who you hang out with because they can influence how you think, and what you think can cause you to make decisions in a certain way. You know, I think that's all we need to say, but you might have a couple of questions. I can think of two things that I want to address real fast, and maybe you can have a conversation with your parents about it. You know, the first thing is this. Is this verse saying that I can never think about bad stuff? You know, your friends might come up and say, oh, did you hear what happened? Something bad or something sad? And you stop and go, wait, the verse says I can only think about good things. Guys, that's not what the verse is saying. You know, bad things happen in this world, and sometimes you just simply need to know and be informed. There's a pandemic right now. You need to know that. And by knowing that, it gives you the ability to make choices to help protect yourself and the ones you're around. But that doesn't mean you continue to think about it and worry about it. You take the precautions and move on. Or maybe you get some sad news. You know, sometimes you just got to be sad. Did you ever see the movie Inside Out? You remember the little happy person that would never let all the other emotions have a turn? And the little girl needed to be sad. That's what I'm talking about. If you are sad, you need to be sad. That movie was right on. If you're that way, find someone like a parent, a good friend that you trust, and you work through it and you talk about it in a healthy way. But then, guys, you don't continue to think about it because that makes you anxious. You know, in the verse, just a couple verses right before verse 8, right there in verse 6, it says, don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need. Do you hear what it's saying? He's saying, don't worry about it anymore. Tell me about it. Tell me about it in detail. And then forget it and let me take care of it. And then he says, and thank him. Do it with thanksgiving. You hear that? Now focus on the things you're thankful for. So guys, sometimes there are bad things and sad things that happen, and it's good to know those and talk about them, but then he says, okay, don't focus on them because I don't want you to be anxious. That's the first question. The second question that you may have is this. How about stories or movies? You know, there's bad things that happen in story and movies. So how do you decide if it's good or not? Here's a good little way of testing it. Is the movie you're watching lifting up the thing that's bad as an example of something that is good to do? Or is it lifting that bad thing up as an example of something that you're not supposed to do and there's consequences for it? I think you get what I'm saying. Guys, there are movies that you watch all the time like Disney. Scar from The Lion King was not a bad guy and he did bad things. But you watch the movie and you think, I don't want to be like Scar. So it's an example of how not to live. But there are a lot of movies and stories and things out there that take things that aren't good and lift them up as things that, hey, it's okay to do this. And when that happens, you need to be careful because if you watch that kind of thing often, it influences how you think. And if it influences how you think, guess what? It's going to influence how you make choices. Guys, thanks for listening. And I hope you learned something from it. Hey, wait, DJ, hold on a second. I thought maybe we could end this with one more mentalism card trick. You want to do that? Well, come here. Real quickly, I want you to take a look at these cards. You notice I've got 6 cards laying out here. I want you to choose one of those cards. Real quickly, think about it. You don't have to touch it. Just think about it. Good, you've got it. Now, what I want you to do is look into my eyes. You got it? Now, think about your card. Think about it. Ha! I've got it. Let me take one away here. Okay, let me rearrange these. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to find your card. It's gone, isn't it? Ha-ha! How about that? Cool. I hope you like that. DJ, thanks for having me over. I love your Christmas decorations. Let's go have some hot chocolate. Did you like that last little mentalism effect? Or let me ask you, was it mind control? Or perhaps maybe it was just magic.